Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Please be prepared to take your seats and put all electronic devices on silent. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 United States Marine Corps Awards and TBS Family Orientation Brief. The ceremony will begin with an introductory video celebrating the illustrious history of the Marine Corps, highlighting the preparation that this year's Marine Selects have endured to earn their commission.
The future is threatened by enemies often unrelenting,
Marines, get these people out of here.
It's gonna be all right.
unexpected, and unpredictable.
Stay alert, Marines.
In the midst of an uncertain and evolving world, the need for Marines to defeat these shifting threats is critical.
Enemy drones down.
Because the need to ensure stability for our nation has never been greater.
Sending coordinates now.
When there are battles to win for America's future, there is one constant: Marines.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Colonel Tom Mannion, United States Marine Corps, retired. Colonel Mannion's 23-year Marine Corps career included numerous leadership roles before his retirement in 2014. He is the father of First Lieutenant Travis Mannion, a Marine leader who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country in April 2007. After the loss of Travis, the Mannion family established the Travis Mannion Foundation to support our military, the families of the fallen, and to help create the next generation of leaders. Through the foundation, Colonel Mannion has worked within the community and around the country to inspire people to convey a sense of sacrifice and public service in all they do. Colonel Mannion's late wife, founder and visionary of the Travis Mannion Foundation, Janet Mannion, passed away on April 24th, 2012, devoting every day to putting service above self. Colonel Mannion is also the co-author of the book, Brothers Forever, the story of the friendship, service, and sacrifice between Travis and his Naval Academy roommate, Navy SEAL Brendan Looney. All Marine Selects received a signed copy of Brothers Forever from Colonel Mannion.
Congratulations on your graduation from the Naval Academy and for your commissioning as second lieutenants in the United States Marine Corps. It's a great day to celebrate all that you've accomplished since stepping onto the yard as midshipman almost 4 years ago. Soon be headed to Quantico to prepare for the next phase. As a leader of Marines, you'll be challenged to set the pace and inspire others to follow in the proud legacy of our Corps. You'll learn about Marines through history that have set the bar for generations to follow. And here in Annapolis, you really don't have to look too far to find great examples of leaders and courageous warriors who sat where you're sitting right now, not too long ago. Men like Doug Zimbeck, Ronnie Winchester, J.P. Blecksmith, all difference makers who led from the front and reputations built through hard work, determination, and character. My son Travis was inspired by Doug Zimbeck, who would come back to Navy in between deployments. He'd often spend his time with Travis in the wrestling room. Doug had a reputation for always leading from the front, and Travis learned that lesson well. If Travis were here today, his message to you would be, find your inspiration, work hard, be a person of character, and live every day with his motto, if not me, then who? I wish you all the best as you join the most elite fighting force in the world. There is no greater honor than to be a leader of Marines. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a short video of an Iraqi colonel speaking at Travis's memorial service in Fallujah, Iraq. This video is a testament to the brotherhood Travis shared with the Iraqis. But more than that, it's a testament to the essence of what it means to be a Marine. You don't know where your journeys ahead will take you, but you know that no matter what, you will be making a tremendous impact across the world. Thanks for stepping forward to serve our great nation. God bless you. God bless America. Semper Fi Marines.
By the name of God. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في الكتاب الكريم. Our blessed God said in our Quran, لكل أجل كتاب. For each soul there is a day where they will die. نحضر هذا اليوم. We can arrive to this day. حفل تأميني. Honor the memorial service. المقاتل for the warrior President Travis Mannion. الضحى. To sacrifice. بأغلى شيء عند الإنسان. With the most precious thing a human being can ever have, which is alive. من أجل الدفاع. In order to defend. عن حرية البلد العراقي. The Iraqi individual freedom. وإنشاء تأسيس ديمقراطية في هذا البلد. To plant the democracy basics in this country. كان مقاتلا شجاع. He was a brave warrior. لا يهاب الموت. Never feared the death. ندعو إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى. We ask our God أن يسكنه في مسيح جناته. To give him in his heaven. لقد تعلمنا منه أشياء كثيرة وعديدة. We've learned a lot from that warrior. ولا يسعنا أن نقول. And we can't say much except. إننا سنواصل. We will continue. مسيرته إن شاء الله. The way we worked on. شكرا لحضوركم. Thanks a lot for your arrival.
It is my pleasure to now introduce the commanding officer of the Basic School, Colonel Reginald McClam.
I'll say good morning to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to thank Admiral Davis, Colonel J.P. McDonough, and Colonel Mike Stiskel for having me here today. But more importantly, because it's about each one of you, particularly the midshipmen, soon to be second lieutenants in the United States Marine Corps, and your families, I'd like to formally, along with my Sergeant Major who's standing off the side, Sergeant Major Reggie Gay, we'd like to formally welcome you to the Basic School. If I were still going to be there upon your arrival a little bit longer, I only have a few more weeks in command, we'd probably welcome you and say, welcome to the house of two Reggies. More importantly for you all, I'll just cover a couple of things that'll be discussed here to help you understand what awaits you as you arrive to the Basic School. What is the Basic School really about? The Basic School produces lethal graduates imbued with the service culture, ready to serve in the Fleet Marine Force, with a bias for action. It is the foundational part of the journey that you're about to embark on as a young second lieutenant. And we'll test your field skills, we'll test your ability to be tactically and technically proficient, but more importantly, what the school really, truly embodies is leadership. I like to tell everyone that comes there, it's a leadership laboratory. And that leadership laboratory is designed to test you in your decision making. It's designed to test and make sure that your character and that your moral compass is intact. And that's exciting for each one of you as you go forward. You can see up here what will happen after you shortly arrive. The curriculum is 6 months long. And for those of you who do not come assigned an MOS, i.e., if you're a pilot, if you're a lawyer, and then we have cyber contracts for those that are contracted, which normally we get a few out of the academy. Everyone else will compete for their MOS, all right? I assign all MOSs there at the school, and it's based on your performance as well as your suitability to serve in the MOS. You also must be eligible as it goes forward. We'll give you plenty of opportunities for, the midshipmen now, but soon to be second lieutenants. We'll give you ample opportunity through MOS mixers and engagement with the staff for you to figure out where you think your talents might best fit when you get through the process there. But that will be great, and then it'll be followed up by an MOS school once you graduate. Some of them are as short as 2 months. Some of them take a little bit longer. For our pilots, many of you, it's about 18 months to 2 years before you arrive in the fleet as a naval aviator ready to actually fly as a Marine Corps officer. Depending on what company you're going to check into, you can see the company commanders who are listed up there. Delta Company will check in on 3 June. That'll be my last company that I receive at the school before change of command on 12 June. Major Ubelhart is the company commander for that. He's an engineer officer by background. And then Echo Company will be taken by Major Himes. He's a Cobra pilot. He is currently the CEO of Bravo Company, so he's going to do back-to-back turns. He'll graduate and then turn right into it again. And then Fox Company will be led by Major Heron, who is a former tanker, now cyberspace officer. Once tanks went away, he lateral moved into the cyber MOS. So great opportunity for you there. And then you can see contacts that are listed for the command duty officer. But most importantly, we await your arrival. We're really excited to get you on deck and really help you begin this Marine Corps journey. So I'll tell you a little bit more details about the basic school itself. The basic school is a great place. It's an opportunity for you to learn and grow, for you to build your personal brand, your reputation, your playground skills, that I like to say. You got to be able to, play tetherball and foursquare and kickball and pick up basketball. Those of you who are seasoned, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't say old, I said seasoned. But you also got to know how to go hang out with the kids who might be under the bleachers or who don't get picked for the teams, because that's what leadership is really about. And the basic school will give you that opportunity to do it. I tell folks the basic school is about getting better, but it is also about failing. I want you to actually fail at the basic school before you arrive under the bright lights in the FMF. The basic school is a hospital for leaders, not a hotel for the leaderless. You can't just come in there and check in and hang out, all right? I'm a big quotes guy. I can keep them going for hours if you let me, but I won't do that. But I'll leave you with some that are really impactful for you as students arriving at the basic school. As a leader of Marines, you must remember that it's your job to plant trees that you will never climb or sit in their shade. It's not about you. It's about the young Marines, sailors, and their families that you get the high honor and privilege to lead. And as you get to the basic school and you find the various challenges that will be out there, I'd just like to remind you, somebody took the situation that you're complaining about when you're in that challenge, and they won with it. There have been many, many folks who have gone before you, who have walked the same ground, and their sole focus in life was just finding a little red box in the middle of the woods. All right, you'll get plenty of opportunities at Land Nav to do that. Those of us that are graduates, we know what that means. The map and compass still is king. You have to be able to do that amidst all the technology that we have. I'll leave you with two things, and then I will exit stage right. But these two quick stories that I will tell you will help frame out for families and for the midshipmen what waits ahead for you. First and foremost, it is important that you define success well. Before you arrive, I want you to really start thinking about what it means to define success. And here's the story. There was a young man by the name of Dave who was just a little bit older than you all. And Dave belonged to a band. And that band was on the precipice of signing its first record deal. He had kind of been founding with it and growing with it. And they took a ride from Los Angeles, California to New York City. And upon arrival in New York City, when they arrived, they were about to sign this record deal. But the band decided at the last minute Dave wasn't the right fit. They kicked him out. They bought him a bus ticket. They put him on the bus from New York back to LA. Dave took that moment riding across country and he said, you know what? I'm going to start my own band. I'm going to be better than those guys. We'll get more girls than those guys. We'll make more money than they do. You can just think about what it means to have a bit of anger and passion fuel your dream. Well, years later, when his band is on the precipice of 35 million albums in sales, he's accomplished that dream with his new band. And many of you know Dave Mustaine and his band Megadeth to be the pioneers of rock and roll. I see some families, closer to my age group. We understand in the 80s, Megadeth, You know, like that was big stuff of what we had going, okay? But remember, this is about defining success well, okay? And Dave was getting interviewed shortly after he had got all this success. And in that interview, he started crying, and the interviewer couldn't understand why he was crying, because he saw himself as a failure. The band he got kicked out of was Metallica. So it's important for you all, as you make your way to the basic school, make sure that you define success well, so you don't see yourself in the same attributes as Dave Mustaine. Here's the last one for you, and I tell this story to every company that picks up at the basic school, which I will likely get for you all on 3 June for those of you who show up with Delta, if you make that timeline. And then I tell it on graduation day. And here it is. It's a simple anecdote about Thomas Edison, and it is the embodiment of what leadership is about and what it truly means to be a Marine officer. Thomas Edison was a small child. He brought a piece of paper home to his mom and said, "Mom, you are the only one to read it." Little Thomas handed his mother that piece of paper, and she began to read, and her eyes welled with tears. And little Thomas is like, "Mom, well, what does it say?" Said, "Your son is a genius. This school is too small for him. Please teach him yourself." Now, you all know that Thomas Edison went on to become one of the greatest inventors of that century. And years later, when his mother passed away, Thomas went home like we all do to go through family things and start, collecting his mother's goods. He went to her bedroom, he walked into the closet, opened up the drawer, and he found that piece of paper that he gave his mother all those years ago. And now adult Thomas pulled it out and he began to read. And as he looked down at it and he started reading the words on that piece of paper, his eyes started to well with tears. It said, "Your son is addled, mentally deficient. We will no longer teach him. He is expelled." Now think about that. Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors of the century, expelled from school. Thomas Edison grabbed his piece of paper, his diary, and a pen. He walked in the corner and he wrote, "Thomas Alva Edison was a mentally deficient child whose mother made him the greatest inventor of the century." Now, some of you are sitting there, and I know midshipmen are like, "Sir, what does this have to do with TBS and leading Marines?" Well, I'll tell you, the greatest attribute of being a Marine officer and being a leader of Marines, leading men and women, our most precious asset, is the lesson that you get from this story, and it is this: you must never forget as a future Marine officer that, one, the power of encouragement, your ability to properly assess someone's capability and capacity, and love can change someone's destiny. That's what we do as Marine officers. You have the opportunity outside of the warfighting piece to have a powerful impact on the Marines, sailors, and families that you will lead. Sergeant Major Gay and I await your arrival at the basic school. I'm proud of you. I love you for the decision that you've made, and we'll see you at Camp Barrett down in Quantico, Virginia. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get down the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the TBS orientation brief. If you have questions, you can meet the Marine staff in the lobby after the conclusion of the award ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the national anthem and the invocation. Now, the national anthem by Midshipman First Class J. Sean DuBose, 10th Company. Midshipman DuBose is a general science major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a pilot.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The invocation, led by Lieutenant Commander Yonina Creditor, 3rd Battalion Chaplain at the U.S. Naval Academy.
If you would join me in prayer. Holy One, before they chose to prove themselves worthy of being Marine Selects, you looked into the hearts of these midshipmen. You gave them the time to process the responsibilities that they will have, the lives that will be entrusted to them in base and outside the wire. You gave them the time to consider not only the physical requirements, but the mental toughness and spiritual resilience they will need to be Marine Corps officers. You sent them mentors to reveal to themselves their true characters and to sharpen them, steel on steel, to prepare for the coming days. So bless them, Sacred One, with the knowledge to use all their skills to shoulder the responsibilities of being a Marine Corps officer. Guide them as they train their units for any mission, leading from the front and always with integrity. And protect them as their nation calls them to put themselves and their Marines in harm's way. So may they serve honorably and faithfully and make the world a safer place because of their service. Semper Fidelis. Amen.
Please be seated. Our ceremony will open with remarks from the U.S. Naval Academy's Senior Marine Representative, Colonel Michael Stiskel.
Thanks, Matt. Dropping papers here. You get a sip of water real quick. How are we all doing? What do we think of that 8th and I performance? Precision, that's what we like out there. I see Vice Admiral Davids, she's a very, very busy woman. She's the leader of this entire institution, so she was supposed to be here today, but she might be coming in at the very end. But I would like to say thank you to her for her leadership of the Naval Academy. Recognize the Chief of Staff, Captain Jim Bates is here. Our Commandant Midshipman is here as well. So thank you all for honoring us with your presence. A few thank yous to get him out of the way up front, but not to make him short shrift. But Captain Caleb Crispell is down here in the corner. He's the one who organized all this, did the awards board, got all the gifts that we're going to give out. So he deserves a round of applause. Thank you. We'll be heading off to Hawaii here later this month to take over a battery in Littoral Combat Team 3. So any of you midshipmen who want to be Marines, go out to Hawaii. He'll be out there waiting for you. And now we have the voice of 8th and I, but we also have the voice of the Mardet. Captain Matt Sweeney here. Thank you very much for giving us the honor of being the narrator for tonight. So thank you very much. So commissioning week is a orchestra of things moving and things getting done. This place right today will be transitioned into another awards ceremony this afternoon. So the lighting, the way we sit, let's set this up. We're going to turn it over this afternoon. So the Alumni Hall staff, thank you very much for letting us come in here and being our hosts. So please a round of applause for our Alumni Hall staff. Two special things I'd end with is we had Tom Mannion on the screen. He's a Gold Star father. We're going to give out an award today to another Gold Star family, in honor of a Gold Star family. Mrs. Zembeck, the mother of Douglas Zembeck, is here. And I would like to honor any family who's a Gold Star family here today, or any of our veterans. If you please stand, I'd love to recognize you for what you've done for our nation. And for Mrs. Zembeck, thank you very much, ma'am, for your son, for your husband, and for your service to the country. Thank you very much, all my veterans and families. Okay, to the families. This is a family orientation. It's also an award ceremony. Welcome to the Marine Corps. All right? My mom didn't know I was going to the Marine Corps. My dad grew up Navy. I grew up Navy, and I went to the Marine Corps. She's like, what the hell just happened? All right? Your midshipmen are about to join the greatest fighting force the world's ever seen. I can tell you that because I've been doing this for 30 years, and I love it. But it's more than just this uniform, which is pretty nice. I would like to tell you that. All right? It's hot, though. It's very hot right now, but it's hot. It's not a haircut. It's not a name. It is a title. And I've told this to you, midshipmen, the day we selected them. We brought them into Mahan Hall, and we said, you earn the title every day. It's the title Marine. It is not just a name. So that's why your midshipman came to the Marine Corps. But still, some of you are asking, why did you join the Marine Corps? You're at the Naval Academy. Let me give you some insights. You want to be a Marine because you want to be different and you want to make a difference. You want to be a Marine because you feel the need to go forward when the nation needs you. You want to commit yourself to a career of selfless service, putting your nation, your Marines, your mission above yourself, above your own comforts, and above your own achievements. You want to be counted amongst the elite of the warriors of this world has ever seen. And your midshipmen have shown the desire, the attitude, and the effort to become worthy of becoming a Marine. After Friday, you should be very proud to go home to wherever you have come from across this nation, 435 districts across the world, the nation, and say, well, where have you been? Well, I was at the commissioning ceremony where my son or daughter are now a Marine officer. That's what you've joined. A unit, an organization is very proud of itself, and it fights to prove itself every day. So welcome to the Marine Corps, families. My Marine selects, the last class that Colonel McDonough and Colonel Myas and I get to send across the stage. Today, we honor the legacy of people like Krulak, Nickerson, Zembeck, Lefebvre, and Ripley. These are midshipmen that turned into Marines, that left on and did great things to the Marine Corps. We're going to recognize several of your classmates for the things that they've done here today. I'd like to talk to you a little bit. The Naval Academy is built to make naval officers, future warriors, period, end, stop. You get an education along the way, and we need that, all right? But everything we do here is dedicated to the midshipmen. It's dedicated to your development. It's dedicated to making you the best officer you can be when you walk across that stage and you join that ship. Or for a lot of you now, it's going to be joining a squadron, joining a platoon. Friday, however, it stops being about you. And it's always, always about the Marines. And they are waiting for you anxiously. Because right now, there's a platoon that in a year will need a platoon commander. There's a squadron and a plane that needs a pilot. And so we're counting on every one of you as we graduate you to continue that training in the basic school, become MOS assigned, and then go out to the fleet and do great things. So as I've told you all before, the challenging part is not ending on graduation day. It's just beginning. Because every day, your life will become more difficult because what you're trying to do for the Marine Corps, for the nation. The expectation is that you uphold a standard. The Marine Corps, if nothing else, it has a standard. It expects us to meet the standard and exceed the standard. Our nation depends on us because we're a small portion of the fighting force that is left to fight by itself sometimes with just its Navy brothers, because there's no Army, Air Force, or Space Force, or Guardians there for us. It's just going to be us in some crazy little place in the world, and that's what we're looking for, is people like you. As long as you wear this uniform, you will also be under the watchful eye of your Marines. They will expect you to be what they expect an officer to be. So the day you wake up in the morning, and I've told you all this when I first welcomed you aboard, you don't get the choice to be mediocre. You have to be awesome. You have to be excellent for your Marines. So as Colonel McDonough, Master Chief Cole, I'll give a shout out to, Colonel M.J. Pilata, myself, finish our last mission this summer as we retire after some 30 years of service, or I guess not 120 years of service between all of us now. I cannot be helped but filled with pride. I look around the world today, and if you don't watch the news, you better start, because the guest speaker we're going to have at the end of the day is the Director of Operations, and he knows very well that the world is violent, the world is volatile, and tomorrow morning we could all wake up and we could be going to the sound of the guns. And my wife doesn't want to hear this, but I would gladly stay and go do that. And I have a sense of pride and hope because of the Marine Corps is going to be in great hands because of all of you. You are the future. We picked you because you have what it takes to be a Marine, and you're going to be great. So you are the next greatest generation. Who knows what's going to happen in 2 days? Well, we do know it's going to be commissioning. But after that, 30 days of some of you are going to take some basket leave. Get your Liberty brief prior to that. When you start training, you can wake up one morning and the world's going to be changed. A lot of us who stood there on 9/11 said, what is happening? And it changed our lives forever. So I'll ask you, this is my charge to you, is you must be adaptable. You must drive the change that is necessary for our Corps to be looking forward and not looking backwards. You have to lead those Marines. You have to love them. And you have to earn the title every day. Congratulations. Semper Fidelis. Rah.
The ceremony will continue with the presentation of 12 awards to Marine Corps graduates of the class of 2024 who have performed with particular distinction here at the Naval Academy. The first award is one of two named in honor of Second Lieutenant Hugh Donald Adair, United States Marine Corps, Naval Academy class of 1948, who was posthumously awarded the Silver Star while serving as a rifle platoon commander with the 1st Battalion, 7th Marine Regiment in Central Korea in 1950. In his last will and testament, Lieutenant Adair's father provided for an annual gift to the Naval Academy in honor of his son. The Hugh Adair Service Award is presented to the midshipman who has served as the president of the Semper Fidelis Society during the past year. In recognition for hard work and dedication, they will receive a $1,000 gear stipend from the Adair Family Trust. The Hugh Adair Service Award is presented by Mr. Jeff Webb. Mr. Webb currently serves as the president and CEO of the U.S. Naval Academy Alumni Association and Foundation. Mr. Webb spent 5 years in Naval Special Warfare, serving in SEAL Teams 4 and 8. He served as Vice President of Business Development for Enviva and as General Manager of Luxury Automotive Franchises in Virginia. Prior to assuming his current role, he spent 15 years in wealth management industry as a principal with the Bessemer Trust and J.P. Morgan. Mr. Webb graduated from the Naval Academy in 1995 with a Bachelor of Science in Ocean Engineering. He later earned an MBA from the University of Virginia. The recipient of the Hugh Adair Service Award for 2024 is Midshipman First Class Blair Walters, 30th Company. Midshipman Walters is a Foreign Area Studies major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a ground officer. The next Marine Corps Award is presented on behalf of the Naval Academy class of 1985 in memory of Dan Lefebvre. Dan Lefebvre was a 1985 graduate of the Naval Academy. As a midshipman, he majored in English while also studying Russian and participating in a summer program at the U.S. Army's Russian language school in Garmisch, Germany. He fought on the brigade boxing team, representing Navy at the Intercollegiate National Tournament, and participated in the USNA Acting Club, earning lead roles in several theatrical performances. As a first-class midshipman, he was selected to lead 35th Company as its commander. He was commissioned a Marine Second Lieutenant on May 22, 1985, and served as a logistics officer until 1989, when persistent sports injuries mandated a medical discharge. After his Marine Corps service, he began to attend Northwestern University Law School and began a successful, nationally recognized 30-year legal career. He also served as the president of the Wisconsin chapter of the USNA Alumni Association. Dan Lefebvre passed away unexpectedly in January 2022 at the age of 58. His life of faithful service as a husband, father, Marine, lawyer, and church lay leader remind us of the important but largely unsung civic contributions of so many graduates. Dan's legacy exemplifies the other half of the Academy's mission: graduating leaders of character who assume the highest responsibilities of citizenship outside the government and naval service. The Lefebvre Award is a set of Marine officer dress blues and is presented to the midshipman who, as a humanities or social science major, best embodies impeccable character through their leadership within their company in the brigade, as well as their sport and extracurricular activity. This year's Lefebvre Award will be presented by Mr. Matthew Lefebvre. He is the fourth oldest child of Dan and Joanne's 12 children. In 2013, he obtained his liberal arts degree from Christendom College in Front Royal, Virginia, majoring in political science. Since graduating, he has worked in federal contracting, primarily with the Department of State. While initially focusing on security and intelligence analysis both domestic and abroad, his career has evolved into project management. He currently serves as a senior project manager with the Parsons Corporation, working within the project management office on a large complex logistics contract overseas. He is happily married to his wife Angelica and has been blessed with the two most amazing children, Desmond and Isabella. The recipient of the Lefebvre Award for 2024 is Midshipman First Class Emily Boughton, 8th Company. Midshipman Boughton is an honors English major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a pilot. Our next award is donated by Margaret Clevens in honor of her father, Carl R. Chelius, U.S. Naval Academy class of 1957. This award, a Mameluke sword, is originated and endowed by an alumnus of the great class of 1957. Carl Chelius was commissioned into the U.S. Marine Corps and became a major of Marines. He served 2 tours in Vietnam as a helicopter pilot and 3 years as a flight instructor. Following his military career, he attended Penn State University. While there, he flew a research aero commander plane, which aided him in receiving 2 degrees and a spot on the faculty of the meteorology department, from which he retired. He sends his best regards to the 2024 recipient of this award. The class of 1957 sword is presented to the Marine Select with the highest overall order of merit. This year's class of 1957 sword is presented by Dr. Lawrence C. Schutte, the nephew of Major Carl Chelius. Dr. Schutte currently serves as the Director of Research and Technology Programs for the Lockheed Martin Corporation. Previously, he was the Director of Research at the Office of Naval Research, where he led the Discovery and Innovation portfolio in the Navy and Marine Corps. Prior to being the Director of Research, he was the Director of Innovation at ONR, where he successfully delivered high-payoff, game-changing technology for the warfighter. The recipient of the class of 1957 sword for 2024 is Midshipman First Class Sarah Taylor, 2nd Company. Midshipman Taylor is a mathematics major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a ground officer. Her overall order of merit of 5 is highest among Marine Selects. The Marine Corps Association sponsors our next 3 awards. The Marine Corps Association Foundation was founded in 2009 and helps develop leaders by providing forums for professional education, exchanging ideas, and preserving the tradition of the Corps. Presenting these awards on behalf of the Marine Corps Association is Lieutenant General Charles Sherrati, United States Marine Corps, retired. Over a career that spanned more than 3 decades, Lieutenant General Sherrati served in command and staff positions at every rank, while serving at home and overseas during peacetime and in combat. He finished his distinguished career at Headquarters Marine Corps, where he was the Deputy Commandant, Installations and Logistics. In this role, Lieutenant General Sherrati served as the Commandant's senior logistician, responsible for matters of logistics policies and management, and coordinated logistics actions across the Marine Corps. Lieutenant General Sherrati currently serves as President and CEO of the Marine Corps Association. The first of these awards is the Marine Corps Association Award. This award recognizes the scholarly excellence that supports the Corps' long tradition of developing lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and innovators. The award is a set of books from the Marine Corps Professional Reading Program as identified by the Commandant of the Marine Corps. It is awarded to the graduating Marine Select with the highest academic order of merit in the class of 2024. The recipient of the Marine Corps Association Award for 2024 is Midshipman First Class Quentin Zimmer, 3rd Company. Midshipman Zimmer is a history major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a ground officer. The second award, sponsored by the Marine Corps Association, is the Fuller Award. This award is given in memory of Major General Ben H. Fuller, United States Marine Corps, and his son, Captain Edward C. Fuller. General Fuller was the 15th Commandant of the Marine Corps and was the Naval Academy class of 1889. The award recognizes the midshipman who wrote the best warfighting essay of all Marine practicum students. This year's essay asked midshipmen to reflect on a leadership lesson from their time at the Naval Academy and to describe how it has influenced their leadership philosophy. The Fuller Award is a sculpted eagle statue. The recipient of the Fuller Award for 2024 is Midshipman First Class Christopher Civetta, 3rd Company. Midshipman Civetta is an honors robotics and control engineering major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a cyber officer. The third and final award sponsored by the Marine Corps Association is the Krulak Award. This award is given in honor of General Charles C. Krulak, United States Marine Corps retired, the 31st Commandant of the Marine Corps and Naval Academy class of 1964. The Krulak Award is an eagle, globe, and anchor statue given to the graduating midshipman commissioned in the United States Marine Corps who best demonstrates the Marine Corps values of honor, courage, and commitment. The recipient of the Krulak Award for 2024 is Midshipman First Class Dagan Franks, 4th Company. Midshipman Franks is a mechanical engineering major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a ground officer. The next award is a one-time award donated by the family of Colonel Richard Wood Smith, United States Naval Academy class of 1951. Colonel Smith passed away at the age of 94 in December 2023, and his family is donating his personal Mameluke sword for this award. Early in his career, Colonel Smith was assigned to clandestine operations in newly divided Vietnam from 1954 to 1955. As a member of Colonel Edward Lansdowne's Saigon military mission, he was in Hanoi when the city was ceded to the Viet Minh in 1954 and engaged in clandestine operations for the next 2 years. His other military assignments included Plans and Operations Advisor to the Venezuelan Ministry of Defense, 3rd Marine Division Operations Officer in Vietnam, and Inspector of 3rd Marine Division in Okinawa. Colonel Smith taught at both the undergraduate and graduate level, serving as an instructor at the Basic School, Marine Command and Staff College, the United States Naval Academy, the National War College, the Industrial College of the Armed Forces, and the National Defense University. In addition to his Bachelor of Science degree from USNA, Colonel Smith earned a Master's of Arts in U.S. History from the Catholic University of America, a Master of Science degree in International Affairs from the George Washington University, and a PhD in International Affairs from Johns Hopkins University. Colonel Smith was a true Renaissance man who in retirement enjoyed opera, gardening, restoring homes with his woodworking skills, and service to his community. Colonel Smith was interned at the Naval Academy Columbarium on April 17th of this year. Colonel Richard Wood Smith's sword is awarded to the Marine Select from the class of 2024, who best exemplifies the 5 horizontal themes that the Basic School expects of its second lieutenants. A man or woman of exemplary character, devoted to leading Marines 24/7, able to decide, communicate, and act in the fog of war, a warfighter who embraces the Corps' warrior ethos, mentally strong and physically tough. The Colonel Richard Wood Smith Sword is presented by Captain W. Spencer Johnson, U.S. Navy, retired, USNA, class of 1963. Captain Johnson served 30 years in the U.S. Navy as a surface warfare officer. He served aboard the USS James C. Owens, the USS Perry, and USS Richard L. Page. His command tours included the USS Bigelow for 3 years, which included a deployment to the Persian Gulf during the Iran-Iraq War, and Destroyer Squadron 15 in Yokosuka, Japan, where he commanded the first 3 ships to visit mainland China in 40 years in 1986. He embarked 40 Marines for the historic visit to Tsingtao, the last post of the Corps in China until 1948. Ashore, he served on the staff of the Chief of Naval Operations, the Director's Office of the Joint Staff, and the Office of the Secretary of the Navy. His final billet in the Navy was as chairman of the Department of Strategy and Operations at the National War College. In retirement, Captain Johnson went to work for the SAIC Corporation doing strategy and policy analysis for the DoD. He is the president of the class of 1963. The recipient of the Colonel Richard Wood Smith Sword is Midshipman First Class June Jordet, 26th Company. Midshipman Jordet is an honors English major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a ground officer. The next Marine Corps Award is presented on behalf of the Order of the Founders and Patriots of America. The Order of the Founders and Patriots of America is a hereditary society that honors our ancestors who faced terrible hardship with courage and determination to come to America to found the American colonies, as well as our patriot ancestors who demonstrated courage, tenacity, and perseverance in the cause of American liberty and independence. The Nickerson Award is named after former member Lieutenant General Herman Nickerson, Jr., United States Marine Corps. General Nickerson was commissioned a Marine Second Lieutenant on July 10, 1935. During his distinguished career, he served in campaigns in China, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. In addition to other combat decorations, then Colonel Nickerson earned the Army Distinguished Service Cross, the nation's second highest combat award, for his actions during the Korean conflict as commanding officer of the 7th Marine Regiment. Lieutenant General Nickerson was a member of the Order of the Founders and Patriots of America. The Nickerson Award is a Marine officer's sword and is presented to the midshipman who has exhibited outstanding leadership, integrity, and potential as a future Marine officer. This year's Nickerson Award will be presented by Captain Michael Weiler, U.S. Navy, retired. Captain Weiler served as a Seabee for much of his 23 years of service in the Navy. His tours of duty spanned from engineering positions in Vietnam to public works in Antarctica. He led the design of underwater facilities, commanded Seabee divers, and developed the Navy's formal school to train Seabee divers. He also served as a member of the United States Naval Academy Mechanical Engineering faculty from 1980 to 1982. The recipient of the Nickerson Award is Midshipman First Class Anna Hornick, 19th Company. Midshipman Hornick is an operations research major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a pilot. The Order of the Founders and Patriots of America requested that the following introductory comments be read together with the presentation of the Nickerson Award. Midshipman Hornick, by your outstanding performance, dedication to duty, and superior leadership, you have demonstrated the qualities of integrity, professionalism, honesty, and military bearing that epitomize the ideal Marine. You are about to embark on a career that follows in the footsteps of past and present Marines, from Captain Samuel Nicholas at Tun Tavern in 1775 to patriots such as Presley O'Bannon, Generals John Lejeune and Chesty Puller, as well as our own Lieutenant General Nickerson. On behalf of the Order of the Patriots and Founders of America, we proudly present the Lieutenant General Nickerson Award to you. Good luck, Godspeed, and Semper Fi. Our next award is presented by the Naval Academy Alumni Association in honor of Colonel John W. Ripley, United States Marine Corps, Naval Academy Class of 1962. This award honors the physical courage he displayed when he earned the Navy Cross for extraordinary heroism on April 2nd, 1972, while serving as the senior Marine advisor to the 3rd Vietnamese Marine Corps Infantry Battalion in the Republic of Vietnam. On that day, his actions directly led to the destruction of a vital river bridge that stopped the rapid advance of a mechanized North Vietnamese Army force, estimated at reinforced divisional strength. This event is captured in a diorama displayed in Memorial Hall. Colonel Ripley received the Naval Academy Distinguished Graduate Award in 2002, and in 2009, Colonel Ripley was inducted into the U.S. Army Ranger Hall of Fame, the first and only Marine with this honor. The Ripley Award is a selection of books from the Commandant's reading list and a check presented to the graduating midshipman who has demonstrated the highest sense of physical aptitude and is commissioned in the United States Marine Corps. This year's Ripley Award will be presented by Mr. Tom Ripley, graduate of the Virginia Military Institute, class of 1993. Tom Ripley is a former United States Marine Infantry officer and is one of Colonel John W. Ripley's 4 children. He is a partner at Ames Watson and is the chairman and CEO of Lids Sports Group. The recipient of the Ripley Award for 2024 is Midshipman First Class Cameron Murray, 7th Company. Midshipman Murray is a mechanical engineering major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a pilot. The next Marine Corps Award is the 50-Year Heritage Award, presented this year by the class of 1974 as part of the Another Link in the Chain program. Through the program, classes are bonded to link generations and experiences. The class of 1974 seeks to recognize a Marine Select who demonstrates the greatest commitment to achievement in professional military education, especially history and naval heritage and leadership potential. The class of 1974 presents a Marine officer's sword to the next generation. This year's 50-Year Heritage Award from the class of 1974 will be presented by Dr. Kenneth Dunn, Colonel, United States Marine Corps retired, U.S. Naval Academy class of 1974. Dr. Dunn served 30 years as an artillery officer in the Marine Corps, commanding 5th Battalion, 10th Marines, as well as Weapons Training Battalion in Quantico, Virginia. He was the Chief of Staff, Marine Corps Base Camp Butler in Okinawa, Japan, and later served as a civilian analyst at Headquarters Marine Corps. He holds 2 master's degrees as well as a Doctor of Education degree. Most recently, he served as director, Marine Corps Leadership Seminar, which is an outreach program aimed at showcasing Marine Corps leadership to select diverse colleges and universities in the United States. The recipient of the class of 1974 50-Year Heritage Award is Midshipman First Class Peter Shaner, 10th Company. Midshipman Shaner is a history major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a pilot. The next award is named in honor of Major Doug Zembick, United States Marine Corps, a graduate of the Naval Academy class of 1995. Major Zembick volunteered for and was assigned frequent combat missions in direct support of the global war on terror and considered it his greatest honor to lead Marines in combat. In May of 2007, he was tragically killed in an engagement outside Baghdad. His countless acts of heroism, determination, ferocity, compassion, commitment, and zeal for life will be remembered and recounted among the thousands of people privileged to have known him. This award is established in his name in an effort to further imbue future generations of warriors with a greater sense of heritage within the Marine Corps, to promote sacrifice over personal gain, and to help foster the recognition that the Marine officers serve a cause much greater than themselves. In the finest traditions of those warriors who have made the ultimate sacrifice, and those who in future generations will heed the call to arms, the Major Zembick Award honors the warrior spirit found in all great combat leaders. In remembrance of the 17th anniversary of Major Zembick's passing, we are honored by the presence of members of his family, friends, and teammates. The Zembick Award is a bayonet with scabbard. This year's Zembick Award will be presented by Master Gunnery Sergeant Joseph G. Setlin III, United States Marine Corps retired. Master Gunnery Sergeant served in the Marine Corps for 25 years, 19 of those in reconnaissance and special operations related work. He deployed in 1990 to 1991 in support of the First Gulf War with 2nd Force Reconnaissance Company. He also saw combat tours in Bosnia and Kosovo from 1997 to 1999 as the first Marine to ever be assessed and selected for a special mission unit. After leaving Special Operations, he worked in the Pentagon as the Spec Ops Advisor to the Commandant's Fixed Recon Initiative. On September 11, 2001, Master Gunnery Sergeant Setlin was delayed going into work, which ultimately spared his life when the attack on the Pentagon demolished his office. He immediately re-enlisted and returned to Special Operations as a forward-deployed remote Special Operations Advisor in Afghanistan until retiring in 2007. He then went on to serve his country for another 12 years as an overseas security contractor, prosecuting national security targets around the world. He served several combat tours with Major Doug Zembick during his 14 tours in Afghanistan. Master Gunnery Sergeant Setlin holds an aeronautical science background in professional pilot aeronautics from the Gulf Coast Community College and a bachelor's degree in business management, graduating summa cum laude from Park University. The recipient of the Zembic Award for 2024 is Midshipman First Class James Downing, 10th Company. Midshipman Downing is an operations research major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a ground officer. The last award, the Hugh Adair Memorial Award, is the second award named in honor of Second Lieutenant Hugh Donald Adair, United States Naval Academy class of 1948. This award is voted by the officers and staff NCOs of the Marine Detachment and is given to the overall top Marine Select, who has demonstrated this by their sustained devotion to military excellence, spirited Marine Corps ethos, and all-around superior performance at the United States Naval Academy. The awardee will receive a Marine Officer's Sword, a set of Marine Officer dress blues, and a gear stipend, cumulatively worth $5,000. The Hugh Adair Memorial Award is also presented by Mr. Jeff Webb, President and CEO of the U.S. Naval Academy Alumni Association and Foundation. The recipient of the Hugh Adair Memorial Award for 2024 is Midshipman First Class Mackenzie Daniels, 29th Company. Midshipman Daniels is a quantitative economics major and will serve in the Marine Corps as a ground officer. The guest of honor for today's ceremony is Major General Jason L. Morris. Major General Morris is a 1992 graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy. A career infantry officer, Major General Morris commanded Headquarters Battalion, 4th Marine Regiment, Bravo Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, and Recruiting Station, Portland, Oregon.
Okay, you're much more interested in hearing what I have to say than about me. But first off, welcome everybody. It's great to see you. I'm going to try and wrap this up. First off, good morning to our special guests, distinguished visitors, to General Sharati, Colonel Stiskel, Colonel McDonough, your last few weeks here at the Naval Academy and on active duty. Could I ask you all to give those two colonels a round of applause? They are getting ready to retire. Job well done, fellas. To the award sponsors, Marines, midshipmen, thank you very much for being here. To the families of our award sponsors, thank you for your service. It starts with you. The legacy continues, and I know these midshipmen are just chomping at the bit to get out there and follow in your family members' footsteps. What an honor it is for me to come back here. I'm going to stay behind the podium because if I don't discipline myself, I will probably just talk forever, and I don't think any of you want that. I mean, you're probably enjoying the air conditioning, but I'm going to try and stay on my task. 32 years ago, I graduated, and it has gone very, very quickly. To the Marines that are here, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for setting up this award ceremony. What a wonderful event. To the awardees, congrats on being recognized from amongst your peers. Huge, huge honor to be recognized today with awards named really for legends of our Corps. Krulak, Fuller, Ripley, Adair, Zembic, to name a few. And to all the future Marines in the crowd, if you were not an awardee, that's okay. Your award is you're going to be a United States Marine. And that, as our Commandant has said, is the greatest award of all. So congratulations on your selection to join the world's finest warfighting organization. You have made a decision that will change the trajectory of your life for all the positive reasons that I'm going to talk about. And I hope you suck the life out of this next week. All the events, all the time with your fellow firsties and company mates, the camaraderie, the revelry, and being what I would quote and unquote as the masters of your domain here at the Naval Academy down here on the Severn. So I joined the Marine Corps for a variety of reasons, and I'll try and wrap this up. I know you've heard some comments from the previous speakers, but I'll talk about just kind of what motivated me. First, I love the Marine Corps' esprit de corps, its high standards and its commitment to excellence. I truly wanted to earn the title Marine. I was fortunate enough to have a father who was class of 1961, who served in Vietnam as an infantry company commander, and while he got out of the Corps before I was born, he served about 6.5 years in from 1961 to 1967. His stories, his lifelong friendships, and his colleagues that he served with, his first sergeant, his company gunny, and other Marines, and his connection to this great institution really intrigued and captivated me. And ultimately, I was probably a patriotic young American. I had seen Top Gun 2 years before. And you all have Maverick. We had our Top Gun. But I wanted to be part of something larger than myself and to be challenged to reach my full potential. Second, after spending my summers aboard submarines, frigates, and YPs, I decided that I wanted to be on terra firma. I enjoyed the out of doors and its physical challenges without the constraints of metal bulkheads. And lastly, I wanted to lead people. And the Corps offered the opportunity early on in my career, immediately after graduation, to be able to lead, and that appealed most to me. So on the 6th of July, 1988, I checked in on I-Day, did my urinalysis and passed, and had my head shaved, not knowing really what I was getting into. And I spent the next 4 years earning an engineering degree in the bowels of Rickover Hall, going on cruises in the summertime while all my friends were out partying back home. And I tried everything I could to just get experience. I rode lightweight crew, I sailed offshore, I served on the honor board, I played intramural sports while I wasn't doing aerospace engineering homework, and ultimately accepted a commission in the United States Marine Corps. And I would say humbly that I think I was fairly intelligent and in shape, and I finished as a 21st Company Commander, but I was by no means a superstar. I've read the quotes or the data from this class. I think there's over 100 varsity athletes in the room today that are going Marine Corps. Let me have you raise your hands. Who here is a varsity athlete? Yeah, a lot of hands. Awesome. So I never earned a coveted varsity letter. I wasn't a Rhodes Scholar. I was just trying to survive as an aerospace engineer. And I wasn't a regimental or brigade commander. I was perhaps, as I would describe it, above average. What I did bring was my moral character, a hunger to learn, a refusal to quit, and a commitment to being a reliable teammate with a positive attitude. I was, in fact, just like many of you, proud of what I had accomplished, but a little anxious of what lay ahead. The Marine Corps that you are joining has been described as the most powerful warfighting organization in the world. And I would tell you, it is the only part of the United States Armed Forces that advertises that it is a warfighting organization. The term Marine, which you have heard perhaps as part of General Lejeun's birthday message, has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. And it also connotes being a warrior. Colonel Stiskel said it. You have to earn that every day. Every day you have to come to work, you have to want to earn that title. Because Marines are ruthlessly focused on combat effectiveness and efficiency. We operate with a bias for action, take pride in being expeditionary. That means we move light and we move quickly. We execute mission orders as part of our maneuver warfare doctrine and are charged by Congress with being the most ready when the nation is least ready. We Marines have historically been the first to fight and are widely respected because of our battlefield victories over the last 248 years and the disciplined execution of the laws of war. We are by no means perfect, but we aspire to be the very best and as good as is humanly possible. Because Marines understand ultimately that lives are at stake, so it is better to aggressively execute with precision on the battlefield, so in the end, more lives are spared and damage minimized. On Friday, you will be commissioned as Marine officers, second lieutenants. It's a great rank. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. Second lieutenants are young. They're normally inexperienced, but I would tell you, you have more time probably standing in formation and in uniform than many of your Marines. But you're smart. You're physically fit, you're trustworthy, you're proficient, you are courageous, you're morally upright, and you are reliable. Remember that lieutenants come from many commissioning sources, none of which is better in the end except for any other. I break my Naval Academy ring out when I come visit the Naval Academy. Otherwise, I don't wear it because I don't advertise I'm from the Naval Academy. I'm a United States Marine, and Marines, that is all we care about. Marine Corps values, they're the same as the Navy's. Honor, courage, and commitment are the foundation upon which our culture rests. Honor. To be honorable means that you uphold your oath of office and maintain your integrity, because integrity builds trust. Trust earns respect, and it builds cohesion, and that builds your team that you will lead in peacetime and, if necessary, in war. Courage. You must demonstrate not just physical courage, but mental and moral courage. To do the right thing at the right time, all the time, for the right reasons. To be loyal to your superiors and subordinates alike, and to speak truth to power, to keep faith with your Marines and your sailors and protect them from abuse. Commitment. You must be committed absolutely to your oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and to well and faithfully execute the duties upon the office of which you are about to enter. The institution, its values, its standards, the missions that you have been assigned, and the Marines and sailors entrusted to your care. You will have to commit yourself absolutely while you carry your commission, because you are not just responsible for what your unit does or fails to do, but for those young Americans who have volunteered to serve their nation and subordinate themselves to your orders. Your charge is to learn from your mistakes, because you will make them. That's the beautiful thing about being a second lieutenant. You can make mistakes. But you're just not supposed to make the same mistake twice. Be humble and get to know your Marines. As I mentioned, every single one of them volunteered to serve their nation during this time of crisis in our nation. They are all sons and daughters of someone, just like you. Some will have spouses and children of their own, and they are expecting you to both lead them to reach their full potential, as well as hold them to standard, because they too wanted to be one of the few and the proud, the Marines. Treat them all equally and with dignity and respect. They have all earned the title Marine. And these young Marines, over 140,000 of whom are sergeants and below, out of 172 that are on active duty, will automatically obey the lieutenant's orders because of the legal authority associated with your rank, but they won't give their very best unless they trust you and unless you give your best to them. Today's geopolitical environment is the most complex, dangerous, and risk-filled era since the end of World War II. I've served for 32 years, and I have not seen a geopolitical environment overseas where we have had more crises ongoing and potential crises ongoing all at the same time. Over 2,500 years ago, the Greek general and historian Thucydides said that nations go to war over fear, honor, and interests. Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, and the Iranian threat network that is very active, and the People's Republic of China's aggressive attempts to overturn the international norms in their favor all burn simultaneously, both above the radar and below, and demonstrate that our adversaries are increasingly cooperating both economically and militarily. It is a scary world out there, but that is why we have United States Marines, and that is why America wants a Marine Corps. So my advice starting out to you, you've heard some already, I'm going to kind of double down on some of it, is do your very best wherever you're assigned. Grow where you are planted. Some of you probably don't know that between 1921 and 1926, the United States Marine Corps guarded the U.S. mail. And we all dig fighting holes. We all clean our own weapons. We all carry our own gear. We do the job that needs to be done. So do what needs to be done to the best of your ability and have faith in your leaders and in the institution. Focus on preparing yourself physically, mentally, and morally to lead Marines in combat, to continue your training and education in the art and science of warfighting, to master your MOS, whatever it may be, the core training and readiness standards, and commit yourself to being the very best leader that you can be. And when the time comes, when the nation calls, and you find yourself in harm's way, trust in your training, in your instincts, in your faith, and in your Marines to execute with firm conviction that you have done everything in your power to prepare your Marines to win, because ultimately that is what it is all about. Take charge of your unit's training to ensure that they are ready to execute their mission as a team to standard in every time and every climb and place, during the night and during the day. And I would tell you that in this age of the ever-present device that is in many of our people's hands, to include yours, time spent getting to know your Marines and interacting face-to-face is never time wasted. That time builds both trust and commitment amongst warriors. And remember, there is no I in team and no unit ever succeeded based on an individual. If an individual accomplished a mission, something has gone really, really wrong, and they're probably getting awarded a Navy Cross or a Medal of Honor. It's never about you. It's always about the team. Team, team, damn team. I know some of you have heard that before. So my experience, 32 years ago, I sat where you are. I was single, I was full of energy, I was excited and anxious about my future at TBS, my MOS, my first duty station. Now, more than 3 decades later, I stand before you really as a blessed man who looks back on my career that has been both professionally and personally rewarding beyond what I could ever have imagined. I never planned on spending 10 years in the Marine Corps, let alone 32. Here I am. I met my wife driving across the country from IOC and TBS to 29 Palms, my first duty station. I got two wonderful and resilient 20-somethings. I've lived all over the United States. I've traveled the world. I've deployed multiple times to Asia and the Middle East. I've commanded at every level. I spared you the bio. I've led Marines in peace to exercise with our partners and allies and led them to mission accomplishment in combat. I have been assigned to recruiting duty, a non-volunteer, 3 times. And I have done that duty because it needed to be done to the best of my abilities, and seen how the Marine Corps makes Marines and returns quality citizens. I've also had the responsibility to write letters home to families whose loved ones have been killed in action in Iraq and Afghanistan, and have done my very best to keep faith with those who have been wounded in combat. I never expected to serve a career in the Marine Corps, but I fell in love with the organization. I fell in love with my fellow Marines and the mission, and I thought our country was worth defending, and I wouldn't change a thing. So, I'm wrapping it up. I'm going to close it out. Congratulations on successfully completing one of the most demanding academic and leadership curriculums in the world. You are better prepared than most of your peers to lead Marines. But remember to be humble. Enjoy this graduation week, which is the culmination which you have so richly earned, the time with your families, and because upon graduation, the journey is really about to begin. So go Navy, beat Army, but Semper Fi, Marines. Have a great day. Hoorah.
This ends the awards presentation portion of this event. Our sincere thanks to today's presenters and to the Marine Corps Association, the Naval Academy Foundation, Order of the Founders and Patriots of America, the classes of 1951, 1957, 1974, and 1985, the Lefebvre, Chelius, Ripley, and Zembic families, and Major General Morris for helping us recognize these outstanding future Marine officers. As we conclude our ceremony, please rise and join us in the singing of the Marines hymn. The lyrics can be found on screen. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the exit of the official party. At ease. Thank you for attending today's ceremony. Enjoy the rest of commissioning week. Congratulations to this year's Marine Selects, and welcome to the Marine Corps family.